Hello Enchanted ones, and welcome to this DIY Halloween decorations video. Today I'll be showing you how I gained inspiration to make my very own Halloween tree and decorations, so sit back, relax and keep on watching. Recently, I have been going into the woods constantly, trying to absorb and take in autumn's energy as much as possible. Seeing the landscape change is always so beautiful, but recently I have been drawn to a very mysterious place indeed. Hello Enchanted ones, and welcome to this DIY Halloween video. So today I've come out in the woods straight away for this video because I wanted to show you my inspiration and this amazing place that is called Fern Valley. Now I think it's pretty obvious why I called it Fern Valley. There are some beautiful ferns here that are gathered around the fir trees. In autumn especially, they are so beautiful because they turn this lovely orange colour, and in summer they are green, which always reminds me of Jurassic Park and that I'm exploring the island. The real beauty and magic of this place lies in the little paths that are nestled within the ferns. When you travel down one of these paths, you never really know where you're going to end up, unless of course you know the woods back to front, like me. Today we're going to go travel down some of those paths, see where we end up, and also I'm going to show you my inspiration for my Halloween decorations. Now what I love especially about Halloween decorations is that they're all inspired by nature, and there's one in particular thing that we find kind of creepy, I guess, during Halloween time because it's associated with death, and that is the yew tree. So I travelled down my favourite hidden path in Fern Valley, and really the last thing you'd expect to see amongst the tall firs here is a yew tree, and that is why this spot feels so magical. Yew trees are highly poisonous. They have been used as symbols of immortality, but also seen as omens of death, and many have been planted in graveyards as the tree was seen as a portal beyond death. Now, I don't personally find yew trees threatening in any way. I don't see them as the portal to the underworld, but I do love them so much, and they remind me of an enchanted tale. They really just send me into a story, and I just love all the quirky features they have. I think I'm going to be a little bit nonchalant here and tell you guys that this week I'm going to make a tree. It's not a replica of a yew tree, don't worry, it's going to be like a miniaturized version. That's my challenge this week, and I'm going to be making some decorations all from little nooks and crannies from this area to pop on top of that yew tree. So I'm really excited to show you guys. So I'm gonna continue exploring, enjoy the walk, and I'll meet you guys back home where we'll start piecing things together from around my home to make this beautiful baby. See you later, friend. When I arrived home, it was time to start piecing together how I was going to DIY this tree. So first things first, I came up with a plan. But before I could do anything, I had to summon my little fairy friend. First, I looked around my home for items that I could use to help me fashion the tree. I could have used sticks to completely make the whole tree, but I couldn't find any sticks large enough and quirky enough to create my vision for the foundations of the tree. So I found a few simple items, mainly things that are used in flower arranging. I started piecing together the items to see how I could fashion the tree. At first, I lost all hope that I was going to succeed, but after some tweaking and arranging, I had my first branch, and it was so easy to make. I simply twisted a few florist wire sticks into the shape of the branch I wanted to create, and then covered this completely in newspaper, taping it into place. This will build up the size of the branch, so if you wanted a thin branch, you could skip this step. Then I used my best friend florist tape. I completely covered the branch in this. It is great because if you get the right colour, there will be no need to paint and it will dry hard and sturdy. I created a lot of different sticks using the same method, some big, some small. The beauty in a yew tree is that it is so quirky, anything goes. So you can really use your creativity to the max and come up with your own story for the tree. After all of the pieces were complete, I arranged them into my glass jar. I then taped all of the ends of the sticks together to sturdy the structure. And it was day one complete, and my vision was truly coming to life. On the second day, I found myself back at Fern Valley to visit the secret yew of the forest, but this time I had come out with a purpose, to forage for nature for the miniature yew tree, and I had quite a shopping list. To find these items, I needed to go into more secret spots within Fern Valley, as there is so much more to show you of what this place holds. So I went exploring within the ferns, and I first stopped off at the Chestnut Circle. This spot will always amaze me, and to this day I feel it was planted like this for a reason, for these chestnut trees are all planted in a circle. Every autumn, chestnut trees produce the most beautiful seed, a conker. The type of conkers I was after were ones still in their shells. To me, it is just a pure work of art, and I thought they would make amazing decorations for my tree. Conkers are said to help heal worries. They can bring love, prosperity, and are good to hold if you want to find your spirit animal. But there was one more thing I wanted to find, and I could see it standing tall and proud amongst the firs. A beautiful oak tree. Everything that comes off an oak tree is a work of art, and my plan was to make a decoration dedicated to the oak trees of the forest, and I needed something that the oak tree is adorned with during autumn: an acorn. Acorns have magical qualities such as bringing luck, abundance, and protection. I collected some of these beauties along with pairs of oak leaves that were of the same size. Before I left to go home, I stopped off by a fallen silver birch and gathered a few of its sticks as a bouquet. I figured because these were small and wispy and quirky, they kind of looked like yew tree branches, and they would be a great addition on my tree. When I got home, I got straight to work in finishing the tree. I first glue gunned the branches I picked up onto the structure, and I really think it was the making of this tree. And if I were to do it all over again, I think I'd just use silver birch branches instead of a whole day crafting fake ones. I also glued the structure onto this slab of wood to be its base. Now I had completed the branches, it was time to get creative, as I was to create the trunk of the tree using clay. Using a rolling pin, I rolled out a big ball until it was large enough to wrap around the structure of the tree. And then smoothed it all out, adding clay to making sure there was a smooth transition to the branches. And and then rolled out initial pieces of clay to create the tree's character. And I had so much fun here. I even thought of a little story of what my tree had gone through and moulded it on to the tree. My tree was to be a real portal into another realm, a tree you could touch and then vanish within seconds, and no one would know where you had gone. But it wouldn't send you anywhere horrible. It would simply send you inside the tree where a little fairy lived with her roaring fireplace, and she'd simply make you a cup of tea and you'll be on your way. Please let me know what stories your yew tree would hold. Once I'd given my tree a story that continued all around its trunk, I waited until it was dry, and then it was time to get cozy and start painting. I first painted the whole structure brown, making sure it was all painted evenly. And then started painting the dark parts and crevices black to give it dimension. Lastly, all the parts that stuck out were painted a lighter brown. And eventually, after much painting, it started to resemble the glorious yew tree. But there was so much more work to be done. Now the tree was finished, I had to come up with ideas for all the nature I had gathered, and I started with the simplest of all, the conkers. Like I said before, I feel that they are a work of art on their own, so I didn't do anything to them other than glue a piece of see-through string to them to be able to hang them up. I also loved how they look like menacing eyes, perfect for Halloween. Next, I moved on to the decoration to honour the oak tree, and I was to make oak leaf bats. To make these, you will need an acorn and then the 2 oak leaves that were the same size, and a small stick that you would cut in half. I first drew a bat face onto the acorn using white paint. And once this had dried, I drew the details on in black pen, and I love how you can give it such a character here. I snapped the stick into 2 to make the wings, and then cut each leaf in half, using the underside of each leaf to make the wings. I then snapped both of the sticks and oak leaves 2/3 of the way down to make the bat look like it was flying, and then glued all of this together. It was a little fiddly, but so worth it, as I feel these bats may be the cutest things I have ever made, and really can give each one their own characteristics. To make a hanging bat, I attached the acorn to a fir cone and then wrapped the oak leaves around. The last thing I wanted to make was a tribute to all the beautiful mushrooms I have seen in the woods recently, and these were by far the easiest thing I have ever made. I cut a piece of wire and twisted it together to form a hoop, and with a glue gun made a mushroom shape, which is literally a blob of glue. Before this dried, I put the wire into it and held it straight until the glue was dry. I repeated this many times, and once dry, peeled them off the paper. I then snapped a small stick and glued these as stems onto the bottom of the mushrooms. I lastly painted them gold with black spots, and they were such a cute addition to the tree. Now I had completed the decorations, it was time to put on the autumn music and decorate the tree in true Halloween style. Once all the decorating was complete, it was time for the reveal and to conduct my biggest Halloween ritual of all. Fancy cup of tea? Thank you for watching, Enchanted Ones. I am so beyond happy with the results. Let me know what was your favourite below and what would you craft with these beautiful seeds of autumn. All of my love, Alwyn.